Welcome to Quick Course Digest. Today, we're diving deep into human resource management. And let's be honest, it's one of the most vital and probably one of the most misunderstood parts of any organization.
So yeah, our goal here is super simple. We're going to distill an entire course down into one quick, comprehensive overview. Let's get you up to speed. Okay, let's just jump right in. When you hear the words human resources, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Paperwork, payroll, maybe policing the office dress code? And yeah, those things can be part of it, but the reality is so much bigger than that.
At its heart, HR is really this amazing blend of art and science. It's all about managing a company's most critical asset, its people. The whole point is to maximize their performance to help the company hit its biggest, most ambitious goals.
And that gets us to our first big idea. HR is so much more than just pushing paper. The modern HR department is, or at least should be, a strategic powerhouse.
I mean, think about the core functions, right? Staffing isn't just posting a job online. It's about strategic planning to find the perfect person for a brand new project. Training isn't just some boring manual. It's about getting the whole sales team skilled up on a game-changing new product. Compensation makes sure that person is paid what they're worth. And compliance, well, that just makes sure everyone's rights are protected and the company is following the law. They're all gears in a much bigger machine. But here's the thing. All that stuff, that's just the baseline. The real magic, the thing that separates a good company from a truly great one, is when HR stops being just an administrative department and becomes a true strategic partner to the business.
I mean, just look at Google's Project Oxygen. Their HR team, which they actually call people operations, used a ton of data to figure out, hey, what makes our best managers so great? They crunched the numbers and found 8 key behaviors, things like being a good coach and actually empowering your team. And then they completely rebuilt their management training around those 8 things. That is strategic HR in action. It's brilliant.
And, this whole idea actually taps into a classic psychological principle, the Hawthorne effect. It basically shows that when you pay attention to people, when you show you're engaged with them, like Google did with its managers, their performance naturally improves. It proves it's not just about rules and policies, it's about understanding what makes people tick.
So how does this actually work in practice? How does HR guide someone from being, just a name on a resume to becoming a valued colleague? Well, it all starts with a really well-defined process.
The best way to picture it is like a funnel. At the very top, you have sourcing, where you're casting this wide net to find potential candidates. Then, the funnel narrows with screening, where you're sorting through applications. It gets even narrower with interviewing, where you're really digging into skills and culture fit. And then, right at the bottom, out comes your new hire.
And this entire funnel has to be fair. There was this landmark Supreme Court case back in 1971, Griggs versus Duke Power Company. It basically laid down a super important rule. You can't just require a high school diploma or some random aptitude test for a job. Any test, any requirement must be directly related to the actual duties of that job. This was a huge step in preventing discrimination in hiring.
Now, once that offer is accepted, the work is far from over. In fact, one of the most important parts is just beginning. It's called onboarding, and it's the process of truly integrating that new person into the company.
And please, this is a big one. We have to understand that onboarding is not the same as orientation. Orientation is that one-day event, signing forms, getting your laptop, finding the coffee machine. Onboarding is a strategic, ongoing process that can last for months. It's all about building relationships, understanding the company culture, and really setting that new employee up for long-term success.
All right, so you've hired these amazing people. They're all onboarded. Now what? How do you keep them? And more importantly, how do you help them grow? That's the next critical phase, really nurturing your greatest asset.
And this brings up another really important distinction to make: training versus development. Think of it this way. Training helps you do your job today. It's short-term, like learning a new piece of software. Development, on the other hand, prepares you for your job tomorrow. It's long-term, like a leadership program. The smartest companies invest heavily in both.
2 incredibly powerful tools for development are mentoring and coaching. Mentoring is usually informal and relationship-driven, focused on long-term career guidance. Coaching is a bit more structured and performance-driven. It's short-term, laser-focused on improving one specific skill. Both are absolutely invaluable for an employee's growth.
And all of this, the training, the development, the mentoring,
It all feeds into this big picture strategy called succession planning. This is literally the company's game plan for its future leaders. It's how they identify and develop people from within to take on those big roles down the road. It ensures the company has continuity, and for employees, it shows them there's a real path for advancement.
Okay, for our last section, let's zoom out and look at the big picture, because the whole world of work is evolving fast, and HR is right on the front lines of all this change.
You know, we spend all this time talking about how to bring people into a company, but how they leave is just as important. That's where offboarding comes in. It's the formal process for when an employee leaves, making sure it's a smooth transition for everyone involved.
And a huge piece of this process is the exit interview. Why? Because honestly, it's a gold mine. It's a chance to get candid, honest feedback on what the company is doing well and, well, what it's not. It's an unbelievably valuable tool for making the whole organization better.
And looking to the future, wow, HR is right in the middle of some massive shifts. You've got artificial intelligence automating tasks, but also raising really tough ethical questions. You have powerful social movements that are fundamentally reshaping workplace culture and policies. Then there's the rise of the gig economy, forcing us to ask what it even means to be an employee anymore. And of course, globalization, which adds a whole other layer of complexity. These are the big challenges for HR today.
So that kind of leaves us with this one huge question to chew on. As machines and AI get smarter and smarter, what are the uniquely human skills, like creativity, empathy, leadership, that are going to matter most? Honestly, the future of work might just depend on how we answer that. Thanks for joining us on Quick Course Digest.